My name is Shamsher Yadav.
Once again.
Shamsher Yadav. Shamsher.
SH Samsher Yadav. Okay, great. So today, what would you like to talk about? Give me a
Actually,
little
ma'am,
background. Give me a little background about what you do. According to that, we can tailor the conversation.
okay. So you mean my introduction?
Pardon?
You mean my introduction?
Yes.
Okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Shamsher Yadav. I am from Chandauli, Uttar Pradesh. If I talk about my education, so now I am doing Bachelor of Education, and apart from this, I run my own school in my hometown. And that's all about me.
Okay, you run your own school. Excellent.
Yes,
Great. Excellent. So today so is this a school which is affiliated to the UP government?
yes, yes, yes.
Yes. So you run the CBSE course or the uh,
State board. No, no. It's a CBSE board, ma'am.
HSC, the state board.
Mm-hmm.
So you run the state board school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So today I think let us have a conversation about why do you think English is important?
Actually, ma'am, it's a international and global language because of this language is spoken all over the world. So that's why, and this is such a language that is used that are being used by every people and at every place.
Yeah.
No matter what are you doing and what kinds of dream you have and whatever you are chasing, they are all in every field the English is required. According to me, these all things are.
Excellent. So spoken English is very crucial in various aspects of life.
Mm-hmm.
As an educator, you will definitely know that being proficient in English also enhances or increases job prospects.
Yes, of course, ma'am.
Yes.
Because actually, if I will, this is also a reason because of why, because of that I am here. Because in my school there is a very demand of English, and I think you already said that the English is demanded everywhere. But if I talk about my area, so there is the demand of English is very much. So that's why if I will improve my English, so it will help me in my school to improve my school very much.
Yes, surely, surely, definitely. So, moreover, today we live in a globalized economy
Mhm,
where we have interactions with a lot of people across the globe. So,
mhm,
it facilitates communication across borders. If you know
mhm.
English, you can communicate with anyone online as well as offline. It helps improve academic performance. If you speak well, you can write well. Do you agree with that? I can't
Yes, I
hear you.
agree.
Yes, huh. It helps
I
improve
agree.
academic performance and
Mhm.
particularly in English medium schools. Is the medium of instruction English in your school?
Yes, ma'am. It's an English medium school, and the syllabus are also completely 100% English medium. And we are also trying to teach our students they can able to speak in English. They can able to express themselves before anybody, before at any place. So these are our target to make our students able to speak in English and make them fluent in English so that they can perform themselves further in the life better, and they
Very
can
good.
get a good opportunity to get a job and make their life successful. So that's why this is our dream, this is our target by which we are running day by day our school.
How do you think knowing the language helps travel experiences?
Oh, that's wonderful, ma'am. It's a real. Very interesting question because English is such a language that have no foundation. There is no boundary in English language. But if we are traveling with our state or a mother tongue, so after a certain distance, we'll feel a burden. We feel hesitation, and we are not able to express our thing. We are unable to interact with the people. But if we are traveling with the English language, so there is no boundary. We can travel all over the world, no matter wherever you are going. But you can interact with the people and visit many places wherever you always get a such person who are always ready to help you by this language. But if you are traveling with our own language, mother tongue, state language, or a regional language, so it is very difficult to interact with the people after a certain distance.
Yes, so not knowing the language brings a little hesitation. You're reluctant to speak after some time, after some basic questions, you don't want to speak further. So you become quiet when you're traveling. But when you are proficient in the language and when you are able to speak very confidently and fluently, then you can have very enriching conversations with a lot of people. And travel experiences become very, very exciting. You can share your culture, you can share the kind of food we eat, we can share the kind of religious practices, we can share different kinds of information and become very rich culturally. Right? Do you agree with that?
Yes, ma'am. 100% I agree with this statement.
Yes. And while we are talking about the importance of English, uh, I would like to ask you, what do you think are the common mistakes people make during conversation?
Oh, so I'm not very much in this language, but according to my experience and from my side, I'd like to say something about generally what people made mistake while they are doing conversation. So sometime I have listened, I have catch. Suppose the question is arise something, but sometimes the listener and the person who is doing conversation become out of the question. They are started
Yes.
giving such answer that is not relevant. That is completely out of the point. So this is the first common mistake that I
You have
caught
come
that.
across. Excellent. So today I would like to talk a little about common mistakes which people make during conversations. These mistakes can be classified into verbal and non-verbal. When we
Oh,
talk about verbal um, disruptions in communication, many times the mistake we make is interrupting the others. We do not allow the person to finish his sentence.
yes,
And
yes,
then,
yes, yes.
yes, and
I
then we are ready to say something very quickly, even before he responds or even before he completes his sentence. What does this show? When you allow the person to finish his conversation or his sentence, it shows that you respect him and also that you're interested in listening to what they are saying.
yes, of course. Yes, this is also a very important mistake that generally uh, in the conversation people made mistake. Even sometime also committed this mistake when the tutor doesn't complete his sentence, and before completing the sentence, I raise a point and I start speaking. So I have to
Correct.
also uh, mend this point because in the further conversation.
True. A very important aspect which I have observed is some people always try to dominate the conversation. They do not give chance to the others to speak. Do you think this is right?
Yes, ma'am. Of course. And
Yes.
and and this thing is also with the tutor, ma'am. I'm not talking about you, sorry. But sometimes tutor also ask some question, very deep question, by which question he try to try to judge the person with whom he is doing conversation. So by the question they are trying to judge to each other. But this is not good for conversation. Is
No,
it
no,
not?
not at all. One should not be judgmental at all. And that is very important. And we have to respect the other person, not dominate conversations, but we have to strike a balance in such a way that we are able to share our thoughts and keep our
Mhm,
conversation going. That is a skill. And that is an art of conversation. To keep the conversation flowing, allow the other
mhm,
person also to talk in between, and
mhm,
I also observe that people use very technical language or just words when they're trying to impress somebody or show off. They will use big, big words. Is that important? I do not think so. Avoid using language which is not familiar to you, to the other person.
mhm,
We have to come down to the level of the other person so that
mhm,
there is no confusion in what we are trying to say. Because, after all, what is communication? You have to express your ideas, you have to
mhm.
express your thoughts in such a
Yes.
way that the other person understands what you're saying.
Yes, exactly. Because in the conversation, both person have responsibility to continue the conversation. We don't think to uh, we proceed at such a point where the one person become blank, and he started thinking, and he started trying to do something else. And this is the responsibility of both persons to maintain the conversation so that they can express their feeling, they can feel comfort. So this is the good points that you have said, and yeah, I will keep in my mind.
Yes. And to avoid, sometimes during the course of conversation, because we don't let the other person finish his what he has to say, we interrupt in the middle and we try to dominate, misunderstandings are created. So to avoid misunderstanding, we have to be very clear and specific in our conversation.
Of course, exactly, ma'am.
And many people also, I find, repeat the same thing again and again, which becomes very boring and annoying.
Oh,
So it also shows that when you keep repeating the same thing again and again, you're not prepared
mhm,
for what you want to say.
mhm.
So do
That's
not
great.
go. So always we have to be prepared when we are speaking to someone. Normal conversation, of course,
Mhm.
we don't have to prepare much. But if you're going to do some public speaking, you have to speak in front of your students. You need to prepare well, right? You need to
Yes,
prepare
yes.
what, organize your thoughts. And according to the organization of your thoughts, you will also speak in a better manner.
Yes, of course, ma'am. And this thing only happen when you don't have a content. You don't have a complete information about certain topic over which you are going to speak. If anybody get a chance to speak a certain topic, and unfortunately he did not prepare himself for that topic, so these kinds of thing certainly are going to happen. He will repeat the sentence. He will sometimes go out of the topic. Sometimes
Context,
he
yes.
yes. He will give something other thing, and just he will try to spend the time. He will not try to come on the topic
Yes.
because he does
And
not have the information. So because of that, these kinds of problem happen, and that make the conversation or you can say presentation boring, annoying. But
yes,
if the but in the particular case, if anybody has completely prepared himself with a good content, good information, so really that conversation, that presentation is going to be very interesting and very informative. Because information always make us happy, make us feel something uh, pleasurable.
true.
So you are I like this point, and I will also take care of this point because this thing is really important for conversation. If you are doing conversation, so we must have information and good content about the topic, as you
Yes.
say.
Right. Very rightly said. Also, one very important aspect which we have to keep in mind while having a conversation is active listening. Active listening is very, very important. You listen properly and then you can respond thoughtfully. If you don't listen, you're not answering half their questions. Or
Oh,
You are not even, you're showing as if you're not even interested in their conversation, which is not right. Then there are people who also have an attitude when they are talking. They look down upon the other person. They either are very dismissive or condescending. Dismissive is, oh no, I don't think that's true. You say something like that, that means the other person doesn't have anything else to say further. So that's not right. Being dismissive is not right. Being condescending is not right. Do not talk down to any person. He may know less than you, but you respect the other person. Never be judgmental, never be overcritical.
oh,
Yes. Now, whenever we are giving, so as an educator, you may have to give feedback to your students, but never judge them. Oh, you will never learn. You will never speak in English properly. Never be judgmental. Be constructive when you're giving your feedback.
oh, that's great, ma'am. And one thing more, if we are maintaining this point in our conversation, so it helps the others also to come into the conversation, and it also helps the others and inspire to speak his thought, explain his thought, so that and if I talk about that situation when someone is going to be judgmental and trying to take the others, so in that particular situation, that is what going to happen. The person going to start out of the point, and they do not listen you properly. Also, if you are trying to judge him, so that person will not express you 100%. He might be saying that maybe I make a mistake, maybe I give the wrong information. So these kinds of things is going to happen when the someone is trying to be judgmental while doing conversation. Am I right?
Very true, very true. So it's very important that the points we have to keep in mind is never be judgmental, never be overcritical. But when we give feedback, we should be very constructive when we give our feedback. So, what does this show? That we are willing to consider other people's opinion and perspectives. And we also
Uh-huh.
respect other people's views. So,
Uh,
in conversation, that's very important. Even when they do not speak the same, they do not have the same viewpoint, we should not dismiss them, but we
uh-huh.
should acknowledge the other person's feeling. And we should not be defensive by saying, oh, I think I'm right and you are wrong. We should never say that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, very importantly, we should not assume that uh, we know the most. We should give a chance to the other person. We should tailor
Uh-huh.
our communication style according to the person in front of us.
Yes, yes, of
That is
course.
very important. And all these steps will definitely help us to improve our conversational skills. We can talk about uh, emotional intelligence in conversation. Do you think
Yes.
emotional intelligence in conversation is important?
Yes, ma'am. If sometime I want to explain incident, if someone one time if I give a chance to somebody to speak his thought freely, freedomfully, so in that particular case, what we see, the person have a something different idea, something different thought that we get from that person. If we are already dominant over and we are trying to judge him, so in that particular situation we the thought already we have, we always remain them. But if we are giving the chance to others also speak over that particular topic, so we may get a new idea, we may get a something different thought over that particular topic.
True, true, very true. So, in order to keep conversation flowing, we should be able to use phrases, words, vocabulary where the other person also can respond and can keep the conversation flowing. We have to stay focused on the main topic which we are talking about and not shift easily from one topic to another, right? We should
Uh,
finish one conversation properly, then move to the other topic.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yes.
Mhm.
So it's very so. While we spoke about so many different things, I love the way you brought out so many different viewpoints. And I'm sure this conversation we have had is going to be very beneficial for your students too.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Do
Thank
you
you
would
so
like
much.
to, would you like to add something more?
Yes, of course, ma'am. The thing we have discussed today, it was a really very informative, and the point that you have point out doing conversation, what should be careful about, what point we always keep in our mind, so that conversation is not going to be annoying and not going to be boring. So if we are keeping those points in our mind, so we definitely we do in the further very interesting and meaningful and informative conversation.
Yes. And how do you interact? At what level do you interact since you're owning the school? At what level you are the management? At what level do you interact with the students and teachers?
Oh, 100% politely, ma'am. Whenever, no matter my student is, some students are very strong and some students are weak. Some students are quite fluent, and but some students are unable to even express their thoughts. But I try to be with them. The student who is speaking very fluently, so I try to make myself level up to that person. But if the student is not able to explain, so I also try to myself to be at his level so that he can feel better and he can express his thoughts completely.
The what are the ways in which you um, motivate them to learn English better?
So, what level? So first thing is that, ma'am, according to my area, if you are going to learn this language, so first of all, you are going to get a lot of respect from the society, because in our society, the person who know English properly, who are able to speak in English, the person consider he is a well educated, and the people respect him very much. And second thing is that if you have a good knowledge of this language, so definitely you are going to earn money very easily, very smartly. So if you are working over this language, no doubt you will definitely get a lot of things from this language.
Excellent. So, and you will motivate them to speak better and better and move from basic English to intermediate English to advanced English, right? So, do you motivate them to read books? What kind of books do you motivate them to read? Because reading will enrich your experiences as well as build up your vocabulary.
So if I talk about reading skills, so I tell to my students to read the books that are below your level. Like if the students are studying class 8 standard, so I advise them to read the books of class 3 to 4, so that you can understand, so that you can get the all point of that book. If you understand the meaning, if you get the meaning of that chapter, that lines, then your interest will be more increase. Otherwise, if you are take a such book where you are not getting even a single line, you are not able to understand the meaning of that line, that paragraph, that book, so you will become boring. Okay, you will feel boring and you will make distance from the reading. But if you are taking a such books like a story book, okay, and very simple book, so if you read those and you will get the point, so this thing will help you a lot to improve this language, and the reading skill will be also your improved.
Excellent. So the tips you're giving your students are really excellent. But I would also suggest that they read books of a higher level also because they learn new words and their vocabulary gets enriched. And they will be able to use better words even in their writing practices.
Of
Excellent.
course.
So it was a very enlightening conversation I've had with you today. Thank you so much, Mr. Yadav.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. You
Welcome.
all have a
Thank you.